Hey, shalom, shalom. It's a brother out by your belt from the DC Church. Coming at you, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Shemal, Shabbat, Shemal, Kodash, Yahweh. Salaki, Yahweh, Ben, Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Shai, being on the world, ignorantly calls Jesus Christ by Shemini in the name, Harmony, Spirit, Kodash, and the Holy. These are the names of the powers that have come to you in order to profess the 100% truth and Lord's will, seal the elect's faith. Shani Kabaka, Brother Wakash, Koinam Ba'aith, and the double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS. In these times, whom the Heavenly Father had enlisted the 100% truth to, and Shalom, Barakam, Abakan, Shalom, peace and blessings be upon the elect of the nation of Israel. And to the men out there that's pushing this word of sincerity and the truth, to you I say Shalom, Barakam, Thumb, peace and blessings be upon you. Now, without further ado, it's going to be really kind of like a traveling and unraveling. Furthermore, it's going into some details and some topics that are effectual and have affected me, and things that, you know, I can basically speak on that I've experienced myself. And first thing I wanted to say is that, you know, Babylon is extremely, extremely toxic. You know, Babylon is a very, very toxic place. Now, the toxicity is within practically every aspect of the land itself, as far as communication, as far as food, as far as beverages, as far as relationships, finances. You know, everything is very toxic. It's like a black sludge. You know, and you're injecting yourself with that black sludge day by day. The more you partake in the Babylonianism, you know, and it's slowly but surely destroying you and changing you. Okay? Now, we, as prophets of Yahweh, Shemal, Shai, are truly subject to being here. We're truly subject to being here. So we don't have a choice but to deal with the how do I put it? The things that are involved in Babylon. We have no choice but to have to put up with it. You know, but the fact of the matter is that this place is extremely, extremely toxic. You know, and the reason why I was thinking about that is because being in a situation where I've traveled outside of the country, thankfully, you know, the Heavenly Father has allowed me to see things outside of the country. The scriptures also say that man that traveleth knoweth many things. The more I travel, I get a better understanding of that. Nevertheless, going from a different country to coming back to Babylon and seeing the culture of different places and how they eat, and, you know, going to a different country and losing weight while eating practically the same entire diet, the same exact diet. Excuse me. It's honestly eye-opening, to say the very least, to kind of see that, you know, happen. And being able to drink pure water from, you know, different countries, and also, you know, the fruits. I love fruit, so you eat certain fruit, and, you know, certain fruit are actually giving you the beneficial properties of that fruit, you know, and it's beautiful. And you're in a place where it's not GMO centric, okay? So, and it's not, you don't have to, it's not US DA or whatever. I forgot. They say US organic, something along the lines of that. You know, you don't have a difference between organic and GMO. You know, things aren't separated in that regard, because all of it is land grown. Practically everything is grown from the land and sold right to you right then and there. You know, you got a lot of farmers markets and a lot of individuals, a lot of individual vendors who are selling crops that they've grown themselves, which are a whole excuse me for the term, wholeheartedly way more organic than anything that you could ever gather from America. Because the thing is, even though you may have something that's labeled organic, it still may have a lack of nutrients because of how it was cultivated, you know. And I'm not sure how things are cultivated in other lands, but I'm sure that they understand the concept of the land Sabbath, and that they understand how to actually cultivate fruits and vegetables for them to be, you know, nutrient dense. And everything's just different in Babylon. And that's part of the reason why, just like how Egypt was a very sore captivity for us, the scriptures talk about in Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 16 that no longer is it going to be said the Lord liveth that brought the children of Israel out of Egypt, but he liveth that brought the children of Israel out of the land of the north, because of all the things that are involved in this toxic wasteland. Okay. And then you have individuals, you know, which Lord's will I'm gonna make a video on sometime later on today. Probably do two of them. Lunch break lessons. But then you have a lot of women who are essentially crashing out because of them not being able to take care of a child. You know, and it's kind of crazy. A woman will go on the internet and say, it's not my fault that I'm a single mom. Well, you guys left it up to your own choice for you to choose which man you want to be with. That's why betrothal is a thing. Okay? But you don't even have respect for your fathers. And furthermore, the curse is a source. So a lot of times our fathers are not even in our households. You know? It's a trickle effect. And then you got a lot of individuals who have children and then get with the next man and then, you know, have another child. And now you got two baby fathers. And then you have individuals who, primarily the Southern tribe woman, they have 3-4 baby fathers and still looking for another man. It's like, geez, man, when does it end? You know, like when does the when does the debauchery end, man? You know. And it's just so bad in this place. It's just toxic. America's very, very, very toxic. You know? And I was thinking about that because in the sense of taking care of my body, you know, sometimes you fall in a funk, especially when you come back from being in another land. You know, it's just the culture is so different. Salakia. The culture is so different elsewhere that when you come back here, it's like it's hard to get back into your routine. It's hard to get back into your regimen. Sometimes that's part of the reason why I don't even like leaving. You know, I don't even like leaving. Like it's really hard for you to get back into what you were doing prior to you leaving. You know, your estate. Or you could really kind of say your post, which ain't bad sometimes. But the fact of the matter is that as a spiritual man, you know that primarily where you want to be is where you are, because the Lord has you there for a reason. But you start to learn that more whenever you start practicing the word of truth, right? The Lord starts to give you those details like, yeah, man, it ain't worth it. Sometimes it's not worth it, you know. Elder Yashawamba said a very beautiful thing. He said, it's okay living a boring life. you gotta accept the fact that, you know, your life ain't gonna be all honkadories and fun. That's a part of the toxicity of America. Now, it's not saying that sometimes you can't go out and enjoy yourself on the $2 that you make, on the $2 free that you get after taxes and all the bills and all the requirements of things that you have to pay for that are outside of your bills. You know, and sometimes brothers need help. You know, it's a whole bunch of stuff, man. But nevertheless, not saying that you can't do so, but the fact of the matter is, primarily you're going to be in a position to where, you know, you're having to pay excessive amounts of payments. Scriptures say that in Baruch chapter 3 verse 8, that we are yet this day in our captivity, where the Lord has scattered us to be a reproach, a curse, and to be subject to payments. So we're still in captivity.